Track 1. Today, we're going to Los Angeles on the west coast of the USA to find out about two delicious types of food and their interesting origins. Tacos arrived in the USA in the early 1900s when Mexican immigrants came to work in mines and on the railways. Tacos were easy to carry and cheap to make. By 1920, people started to mix traditional Mexican and American ingredients together. They added some meat or chicken, cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes to the corn tortilla. Americans in Los Angeles were probably the first to try tacos. They bought them from food stalls on the streets. There are a lot of taco restaurants in the USA now and street food stalls. The California roll was the idea of Ichiro Mazita. He was a Japanese chef in the 1960s in an area of Los Angeles called Little Tokyo. Japanese sushi is a popular rice and fish snack. Ichiro created the California roll because he noticed Americans were eating the rice but not the outside of sushi. So, a California roll has rice on the outside and cucumber, avocado, and some fish on the inside. By the 1980s, it was one of the most popular dishes in Southern California. Track 2.
Welcome to a new episode of History Alive. Today, we're going to talk about a group of American teenagers in the 1950s. In 1954, segregation became illegal in American schools. On the 4th of September 1957, 9 students arrived at Little Rock Central High School in the state of Arkansas for the first day of term. They were the first black students to go to this school. The state's governor and a lot of white people did not want these 9 teenagers there. When the students arrived, a lot of angry people were waiting for them outside the school. They were shouting at the students. There were also some National Guard officers. They stopped the students so they could not enter the building. For 3 weeks, the students waited. Then a judge told the governor to allow the students to go to school. The 9 students returned to school, but this time they were with police officers. Again, there were a lot of angry people when they arrived, and they had to go into the school through a side door. 2 days later, they came back and went to school again. This time, the US president sent the army to protect them. These brave teenagers are known as the Little Rock Nine.
Track 3.
Sylvia Marcoli is here today to talk about the coral in the Great Barrier Reef. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thanks.
What is coral?
Coral is a small animal. Tiny plants live inside it and feed it. The color of coral comes from the brown and green plants inside. Healthy coral is the same color as the plants.
Interesting. What is coral bleaching?
It happens when the plant and the coral cannot work together. The plant starts to make food that is bad for the coral, and then the plants leave the coral. As a result, the coral loses its color.
What causes coral bleaching?
It happens when the coral feels stressed. There are 4 main causes of stress. The climate is too hot, the climate is too cold, there is too much water, or the water has become dirty because of pollution. The biggest problem is temperature stress.
Has this happened already?
Yes, it has. Some coral has already died, but if the temperature of the water goes down, plants will start to live inside the coral again.
Will the reefs die?
Hopefully not. Some coral has grown again, and scientists are looking for solutions.
Track 4. Hey, Ethan, have you seen that video online?
I've watched a lot of videos today. Which one?
It's the one with the All Blacks, the New Zealand rugby team.
Let's see. Wow! What are they doing?
They're doing the haka.
What's the haka?
It's a dance, and it's based on a traditional Maori story.
Why does the New Zealand rugby team do the haka before a match?
They want to show how strong they are. You see? The players bend their knees and they put their hands on their chest and the tops of their legs. Then they sing. Sometimes they make faces, they stick out their tongue and they move their hands.
Is it just performed at rugby matches?
No, it isn't. It was performed originally when two tribes met or when a visitor was welcomed into a community. Today, it is performed at birthday parties, weddings, and other special events.
Is there only one haka?
No, there isn't. The most famous haka is called Kamate. It was written in 1820 by a Maori chief.
What a cool story.
Track 5. Caribou live in forests all over Canada, and they are one of the country's many endangered animals. There are 3 main reasons for this: habitat loss, human activity, and climate change. One of the main problems is that oil and gas companies are destroying the forests, so the caribou have to move to different areas to live and find food. This means it is easier for predators to find and kill them. But there is a solution. The oil and gas industries and local governments are working closely with First Nations communities to find solutions to help the caribou. For example, some oil and gas companies now have to plant new trees when they have damaged or destroyed forests. Another problem is that the caribou can't find enough food. Caribou only eat plants. As a result of warmer temperatures in winter, there is less snow but more ice. Usually, the caribou use their noses to find food under the snow, but now they can't break through the ice. This means they can't find the food they need, and so they are hungry and sometimes die. What's more, in summer, the land has become drier and the plants are changing. Now, taller plants grow, but the caribou don't eat those. The small plants they need are more difficult for them to find. We must act now to help the caribou and other endangered animals. We need to reduce carbon emissions and stop the temperatures rising. Track 6. One.
Ireland is famous for its music. This is the instrument I play. It's a type of violin. It's played differently in different parts of the country. Sometimes it's played very quickly. Or with separate sounds like this.
2. This instrument goes back centuries and it has a special place in Irish culture. It's made of wood and metal and it has 34 strings. It's quite big, but it's beautiful. Three.
My instrument is part of the woodwind family. It dates back to the 12th century. I use different fingers to cover the holes and I blow into it at the same time. It makes a high sound.
Four.
This is one of Ireland's oldest traditional instruments. It's like a combination of a tambourine and a drum. It's a circular shape. In the past, the top of it was made from animal skin, but today modern materials are used. I play it with a small stick called a tipper. But sometimes I use my hand.
Five.
This is quite heavy. I wear it on my front and I have to pull and push the box. It's got buttons on one side and a keyboard like a piano on the other.
Track 7.
I read Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus for our school book club last term. It was written by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley and it's a Gothic science fiction novel. In fact, some people think it was the first ever science fiction novel. It was written in Switzerland and London between 1816 and 1817. It was published on the 1st of January 1818. Robert Walton tells the story of Dr. Victor Frankenstein. After doing a scientific experiment, Victor creates a huge monster. The monster comes alive, gets angry with his creator, and kills the woman Victor is in love with. It's set in the 18th century in the Swiss Alps, Germany, England, Scotland, and the Arctic ice. It was a scary novel, but I really enjoyed reading it. I was also interested to learn about the author, Mary Shelley. She was a really fascinating person. When she was 16, She ran away to Italy with a famous poet called Percy Bysshe Shelley. They got married in 1816. On a stormy night in June 1816, Mary took part in a ghost story writing competition. She decided to write Frankenstein after this. She was also influenced by the experiments of an Italian doctor and physicist called Luigi Galvani.
Track 8. I live in Edinburgh. That's the capital of Scotland, and my favourite festivity is called Hogmanay. Every year there's a huge street party with music and fireworks above the castle. It starts on the 31st of December at midnight, and it lasts for 3 days. January the 1st and 2nd are always national holidays in Scotland. More than 180,000 people from 80 different countries travel to Edinburgh for those 3 days. At midnight, we sing a traditional song called Auld Lang Syne, and people join hands and dance in a circle. There's another tradition that I love, and it's called First Footing. Immediately after midnight, people go to a friend's or neighbour's house. If you are the first person to enter their house at the start of a new year, this is lucky for them. In the past, people took a gift with them for the people in the house. It was usually a special black bread so that they would not be hungry in the new year. People also brought a piece of coal so that the house would stay warm in the months ahead. Today, a Scottish biscuit called shortbread is a popular gift. You mustn't forget to take a gift. That's bad luck.